kid. So anyways, I don't know. I snap a lot lately because people keep trying to manage into my chakras. They're trying to force in, and so I just have to snap them out. Some of them think it's rude, but it isn't really. It just keeps them from overmanaging. But there's nothing wrong with just everyone snapping. Everyone snaps at the same time and breaks the super strings. I used to have a friend connected to me, and who's probably a celebrity, who's begging me for heroin. And it's really strange, because I don't have heroin. I'm not exactly sure why she's asking me for heroin. It's like really weird. I've never had physical contact with her, except when I was like 13 or 14 years old. So I'm not sure what's going on. She thinks I can get her heroin. I don't deal heroin. Someone thinks I have heroin? That's really funny. Why do people think I have heroin? I would never even consider doing that. Anyways, that's a little strange. I know I used to wear a Tommy Hilfiger jacket that had a big H on it. Some people told me I was arrogant when I wore it. Some people called me a pervert. There's always like weird connotations with bomber jackets with an H on it. So people thought I went to Harvard. Some people thought I was like a weird gay pervert or something. Others thought I was a heroin dealer. They couldn't figure it out, and they kept thinking I was all these things. I'm not any of those. I just bought the jacket because it looked good on me. It was only like $50. Really weird, man. I know you guys have problems out there, but some of them aren't fixable the way you want them to be. But you know, I'm not gonna like really pick on the doctor I spoke to, but there's a lot of doctors out there in Burbank that do not know what they're doing. I just have to say that they just don't know what they're doing, and they're just making big mistakes. And I fixed the problem with an over-the-counter medication. After them seeing a family member 6 times. That's how bad it is. It's just like, but maybe she had multiple problems. And that one, amazing. Now you guys want to try to use HIPAA to suppress the information, but you guys are overbilling for something that isn't that complicated. It's coming out of the government purse, dude. Okay, a guy I used to hang out with in college who was a goth in a band at a coffee shop that I used to hang out with like almost every other day um, is doing something right now, and for some reason he's the topic of conversation. I don't know what it means. He got me a job a while back, and I haven't seen him in a while. But the guy he was working for is now a Disney recruiter. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on with that. Maybe Mike has a contract for me if I need it. That's really strange. Or maybe he's doing something locally. Maybe he just saw me at the bar or something. He might have just seen me at the bar. Nothing wrong with seeing him at the bar, but you gotta kind of like walk up to me because my vision isn't that good. I have to wear glasses everywhere I go, so I won't even recognize you unless you're like into my face.
1 minute.
Like walking up to me and smiling or something. And they asking me what did I do? I didn't do anything. All I did was like argue about getting food and like went out and got some food. Everyone's asking what I did. Oh, maybe I won something. Maybe I won the raffle because I used a statistical process to win it.
10 seconds. Your enemy has defeated you.
I don't know. Maybe it's just future information. Someone wanted a laptop or something. Yeah, that's the problem with it. Maybe I won the laptop by accident.
Not this time. Fight again whenever you want.
Nah. They're probably just picking on me because I want a Macintosh. Yeah, that's probably all it is. But it hasn't happened yet. That's the problem. I work with psychics all day. I have all the gifts the psychics have too, but I don't get paid to do psychic stuff. The psychics actually get paid quite a bit when they're working. Can't tell you. You can probably figure it out if you go online and look. But they actually do pretty well. For me though, I'm just administration. What? What? That's the problem with it. I know it's painful. I know Justin Bieber said something on the news or something about something that happened. I just heard about it from someone. Probably I don't watch TV, so I probably missed the spot, but that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, that's not for real, so that's the problem with it. But I was told by a mutual doctor that we had that the methods to fix the problem. So that was a long time ago. It was pre-programmed in 2004 for me to fix it. Well, if you guys want me to ditch the party on Friday, I can ditch it. I mean, it's up to you. not. I just give my donation. No, I'm going by myself. I'm not bringing a date. I never bring a date to parties. That's a sin. It just drives your date crazy. Because all the women hit on you and stuff. It's just annoying. And then rumors fly, and then they start like lecturing, getting jealous and stuff. It's not suitable for work parties. That's the problem with work parties. Work parties are just for you and the people at work. Oh, I understand. I understand. DC has a beef with me because I step on them all day, and I used to work on top of Marvel too. Like every time I get a job, like in Burbank, I'm on the floor above a comic book company. It's really funny. And my one of my first jobs out of college, I was working in Malibu, and downstairs in our beach house was a comic book company. Every time I get a job, there's a comic book company below me. It's really weird. I don't know why. It's just a weird anomaly. It's been like that my whole career.
You captured Zone A.
I've never been able to figure it out, but someone in my keto club used to draw comic pictures of me. He used to say weird stuff. He's psychic, so I don't know. I don't know, maybe he has some like weird comic book about a guy. I actually have a short story about it's called The Jazz Prophet. I own the copyright to it. It's a short story that can be turned into a movie or another graphic novel series, but it's really designed around reading. It's a regular novel, but it's a short story, and it's for teenagers and children, really more adolescents, and it's complicated. I mean, I see the gist of it. It's about a Jewish kid who grows up in a broken home. His father's kind of a loser and kind of a drunk, but he's kind of rich. But he's like a hippie lawyer, and the mother has AIDS, and she dies on him. And the kid basically is a good kid, and he has the spiritual gift. And he gets picked up by a rich Jewish family, like someone who would run Golden Sachs or something. And he just grows up and he plays saxophone. And he finds out his gifts, allow him to save the world and stuff. It's really interesting, but I've never finished it. It's just a short story right now. It's just that I know there's a lot of people I know who are like that, really, but they're not that bad. Like some of their families are just kind of rude. They're not like that bad, but it's an elaboration of a trauma. It's like stories are always an elaboration.
Zone B captured. You have zone advantage.
I just know there's a lot of kids who are in that situation, like their parents are porn stars, or they're just kind of like wild women, or wild men, and they still raise their kids and have them. and some of them have apes, and like I know they exist. So the thing is that stuff exists in the valley in Burbank. It's really a book for foster kids, really.
Zone A captured. You have advantage.
Okay, Jennifer Lawrence is laughing her ass off again. Is she watching me? I don't understand this. Is she like watching me 24 hours a day? Do they sit there waiting for my feed to come up? I don't really mind because I like Jennifer. It's just kind of strange that people are telling me that she's laughing. Whatever. I know she did Red Sparrow, but Red Sparrow is something else.
Zone B lost. Zone B captured. You have advantage. Only 5 minutes left.
Red Sparrow is just my fantasy, so someone made it for me. I don't know, but that's kind of like where I'm from. Being the CIA catching like Russian woman who. I mean, I created the story a long time ago in 1999, but it actually was real stuff. So the thing is that because it became for real, I was probably just predicting what I would get. It's really annoying.
Keep this up,
and
the
with creativity.
battle is yours.
It tends to be prophetic a lot of times. That's why I stayed away from like songwriting and stuff, because the information is actually for real in a different time. It's hard to write about the past because
you captured Zone C. Stuff. Power play. Keep the pressure on. Zone A lost. Zone B lost.
Nah, it doesn't matter. It's just like something I probably figured out. And then my friend Tiffany told me about it too, which is kind of strange. But she had a gift too. I don't know what's going on with her. But I'm probably working with her friends now, because they are all from the area where she grew up, where I used to hang out with her when she flew me out to see her. And the strange thing about it is that they're moving. They're considering moving again. I don't think that's going to happen. There's probably only about 30%
Zone
chance.
B captured. Zone advantage is yours.
The problem is lying to psychics just doesn't work. Your psychics already know. I mean, it's just a problem with it. It's kind of a competition.
3 minutes. Zone A captured. Power play. Keep the pressure on. Zone C lost.
No, last thing I heard, Tiffany was engaged. She probably got married, so it's just an old thing. I don't know. I thought she died, but because she wrote something kind of strange a few months ago, about a year or two ago, and then she came right back. So maybe she passed away, and I don't know. It's possible she passed away. Because she's still my friend on Facebook, but...
Zone B lost.
The problem is I've had so many best friends pass away in my life that it's just like, I went to like 12 funerals, like one every year for a while for my family too. So after that, you just kind of go, well, another one kicks the bucket, and your family, whatever. You just like cutting cheese, dude.
That shut them down.
It's like cutting cheese, really. It smells bad a little, but then you kind of don't. It kind of just rolls out your back. When you don't have a job, though, it's kind of tough because you don't have your friends to help you, but your family to help you. But yeah, work is, you don't really bother you too much. Because mostly it's a survival issue. You're worried about surviving.
1 minute.
That's why you want to have friends around you, because they help you survive. And then when you get rich, you actually help people survive, because that's part of being rich, if you're a good person. And most people want to be good people, so they just like fix things.
Sound tactics.
But there's a few who don't, and those are people like Osama bin Laden.
Impressive. You could give the Red Jacks a lesson in territory control.
I know they're saying it's not their responsibility until their house gets burned down. So there's that problem too. So, there's no protection if the police won't protect you because they're being abused by the rich too. There's also that. So you guys have to understand that socialism doesn't really exist. Okay? But you can't oppress a common man in the United States. So that's the problem with it. We don't really want socialism though. What we want is a reset. We need a reset function, and then we just go back to business as capitalists. I don't want to continue with the basic socialist model, but there are 4 functions that have to be in place. You have to have inelastic demand products where we have to have them. They have to be managed, and they do have to be managed in a way that is still capitalist, but within a more like a capitalist ecosystem. Because the problem with it is they need to be separated out, and there still has to be a negotiating process for things, and it has to be relative to the value of goods and services, but it needs to have the risk management. Without negotiating processes and competitive negotiating processes, you end up with like healthcare that doesn't work. It doesn't happen. So that's the problem with it. You got to report bad stuff too. The problem is doctors are colluding electronically and trying to oppress people in Los Angeles. And I went through it. I've seen other people go through it. I know some doctors are trying to get some of the other doctors thrown in prison too. Some of them just aren't supposed to be doctors anymore. And it's not like a small number of doctors. It's actually a network. And I've heard about it, and I've known about it for years, and we're starting to see it happen. And the problem with it is that it's not really wrong. So, but the thing is that sometimes the problem gets exacerbated by them because they're not directing people properly, or they're not taking the correct action with seniors. In that case, when they're not taking the correct action with seniors, the problems perpetuate and they just milk Medicare. Milking Medicare, it becomes a collusory effort, and so the problem doesn't get fixed. They just go back and forth, and then they find a simple problem and it's something you get with over-the-counter medication. Serious, and like the government just paid like $3,000 to prescribe something over the counter. You understand? That's basically what I'm dealing with right now. It doesn't mean the main doctor is a bad doctor. It's just that it's obviously not him, because we went back and forth to urgent care, back and forth, and we had a facility that the person was staying in, and they got sick from just being in the facility. It was just a waste of time. And you know, that person wasn't the only one. We had a bunch of people walk in to the doctor complaining about it, and it's happening
Execute
all over Los
targets,
Angeles.
and make sure you're still standing when the dust settles.
But maybe it's not controllable. I don't know. Maybe the infections are just getting out of control and it's not possible to fix them. There's been an epidemic of weird staph infections and stuff at hospitals, and they don't know what's causing it. And I have a few theories, because I was going back and forth there monitoring it. But, I think part of it has to do with just bad administration. When people get the skin infections in general, they're not administering the ointments properly in order. You actually have to time it. You can't just do an antibiotic by itself, because the antibiotic kills a beneficial flora to protect you from fungus. So when you kill that, then you get a fungal infection. And then when you put the when you get the fungal infection, you get another bacterial infection because you're scratching all the time. So the thing is you have to time the administration of the ointment in an order to keep you from getting sick. That's the main problem with it. But the thing is elderly people get sick because they're not that good at managing. Their memory doesn't work. So the problem with it is it just doesn't fix the problem. And then a lot of times the doctors aren't administering the directions to them. So that one doesn't work either. You have to like write it down for them. And then some doctors, they try to double their revenues by making more frequent visits for regular stuff. That one kind of works if you have health insurance, but not if the health insurance platform is broken, which it was recently. There was an administrative anomaly in California where you couldn't get health care for 2 months if you stopped working at one particular month in the year, and all you had available to you was Medicaid. So the problem is the California carrier policies aren't being correlated properly with the policies that are available to people that are affordable. So it's actually not doing anything correctly in certain cases. So, like if your Cobra, for example, is way too expensive, but the California carrier is affordable, you can't even apply for it in certain months. So it actually defeats the purpose of it. And you don't even know that that's the only option because you're told in disclosures that you have the option of seeing it. And then when you apply for it, you can't get it. This is a scam. It's an administrative anomaly. And then it ties to the IRS tax code where they can squeeze out a couple $100 or something in taxes for it, just because you missed a couple months of healthcare insurance payment. It's an embedded harassment form of harassment, and it's an embedded tax fraud. It doesn't matter if you can pay for the health insurance. You're trapped in it. You're trapped in not being able to obtain it. It's a scam. Like even if you pay like $800, you still can't get the damn shit. Fucking scam. The problem is what they're doing is they're relying on people being able to overmanage their healthcare, which is not actually possible. I have a high IQ, and I was able to get around it somehow.
Only 5
but
minutes left.
the average person, they can't manage that. So it just leads to healthcare fraud, tax fraud, and it's a healthcare harassment setup. Really, really bad for people. And so, there are people out there going out and shooting people probably over thinking about it right now. I can't imagine there are too many people who aren't. Because there are people in a lot worse situations than, my family.
Three minutes left. I know a comeback when I see one. Fight on!
They're incorporating it with a bank harassment fraud. What they're doing is they're going into people's net worth, and they're managing their work and their medical expenses around a break-even net worth growth rate. And it always ties to 77 in my net worth budget. They're actually doing it on purpose. They're integrating my personal information with the hospital to keep me from earning a certain amount of money and spend on healthcare when I don't actually have to pay for it. It's extremely integrated. And the thing is, it's been over-reported at this point. It's a fraud, okay? It's a fraud. It's a theft fraud by probably a government agency that's integrating a socialist policy. It's really, really annoying.
The enemy has gained ground, but it's not over. One minute. You're beaten. This now. Defeat is not surrender, Guardian.
No, almost every month I tie it out, and it always ties out to 77 in my net worth statement. It's a fact. But maybe Bill Gates is doing it because he has access to it. So I mean, I can trust Bill Gates. Is Bill Gates God? He claims to be a Catholic, so I mean, maybe I should trust him. He's rich, but the problem with it is it's a stabilized growth rate. It's really annoying. Probably just a Catholic administration anomaly. My guess is because I keep getting jobs with Catholic hospitals and Catholic companies, and my friends are Catholic, and some of them are billionaires. It's probably something weird like that. And Katy Perry bought the mansion in Silver Lake, and I was connected to her when she was doing the negotiations as helping her sweeten the deal and get the house that she wanted. I'm not sure she even knew who she was connected to, but I just kind of like told her what to do because I have finance background. And she got the house she wanted, so now she lives down the street from my father. But my father and stepmother used to go to that mansion when it was up for sale just to check it out. So I never went. But I hear Katy Perry is getting married. That's good. That works. That's all she really needs. Is she needs to be with her favorite boyfriend and get married to him. Sorry. Don't crack the joke. Believe me, I'm not really mean until someone, like, harasses me and tries to steal from me. So remember, I'm a man, I'm not a child. Any case, anytime we have bourgeois pig, just blow it up. Blow up the blue bourgeois pig. I used to go to the bourgeois pig. That was before I knew what was going on with Scientologists. I shouldn't have gone there. The mirror anomalies from that location are annoying. I can channel people at the bourgeois pig though because they go there with the mirrors. There's a mirror channeling anomaly. So if you're at the bourgeois pig, I can probably channel you at the location through the mirror. So the problem is I used to hang out by the Celebrity Center just because people lived there that I knew. I bought microphones from people who look like John Travolta, probably their son, or cousin or something, or nephew. I have one of their microphones. It's just that the whole like Suri incident and torturing her in the basement, that doesn't like work for me. That one I don't understand. Maybe it was something weird like where they made her play video games without blue light glasses for like hours on end and watch movies until she had panic attacks. Maybe it was something weird like that. They were testing out the photoelectric theory.
Zone A captured. You have zone advantage. Gained the lead. Zone C lost. Lead is lost. The battle is still close. Zone A lost. Power play.
Well, the problem is
Enemy
Tom
has
Cruise
your
is not
zone.
really that far from my family. I mean, basically, Anthony Edwards used to come over to my dad's house for meetings over his kids. So Top Gun is like actually like we had Goose in our house. Like Goose was like part of our network at one point. I don't know, like people are like weirded out by that. My dad owns a Walter Wolf racing bike from Top Gun. It's not the exact one from Top Gun. It's the same model. The same paint job. Yeah, if it was the one from the movie, it'd be worth way too much. We wouldn't even have it. It would be in like a
Zone
special
A
facility.
captured. Zone advantage is yours.
It wouldn't be where it's at.
Zone C lost.
I know that means Meg Ryan is kind of like close to us too then, because like she was in the movie too. But anyways, none of that stuff's really a big deal anymore because like you work in the studios.
Zone B captured. You have zone advantage.
All my favorite actresses and actors all in one place. Eating lunch with me every day. That was kind of fun. That was cool. They kind of still do in spirit, but I'm only across the street every day. And I'm glad Meg Ryan got married because she had some financial troubles. So that works. I just don't see Meg Ryan as someone who messes up. But I know we tend to like idealize characters people play in movies and stuff, so mostly what's going on is it's just hard being a celebrity because people do bad stuff to you. You know, you get paid a lot because you have to pay for a lot of security services and you have to buy multiple properties because people stalk you and stuff. And it's just like, it's really weird
Your
stuff like that.
enemy has a power play.
I'm sure they still have fun because they get to travel the world and do whatever. I'm not that into traveling myself.
Zone C captured.
For me, I just like to have a nice sized house. That's probably why I never really chose music as a profession because I didn't really like traveling. Traveling is just really stressful. I never sleep right on the first
Zone
night.
A captured. Zone
And on the second
advantage is
night,
yours.
you know, I'm just kind of feeling groggy. So it's not really fun. Like if I'm with people, they may actually deal with it better, but for me it doesn't work. I just kind of like want to relax the first couple of days. And then I feel like doing stuff the third or fourth day. So it's just
Zone
like
C
an
lost.
adjustment period every time we switch locations. Probably an integration anomaly. It's like having to switch companies.
3 minutes left.
But I had someone call me once who was kind of rich, and I don't know what her job was. I guess she's like a billionaire's daughter, or she's like related to Warren Buffett or something. Because she's like was telling me all the stuff I would be doing in the future, and asking me if I wanted to contract on 50 Shades of Grey for like a song. And I said, nah,
Zone
that's not
C
something I want to be
captured. You
associated
have
with. And
zone
she said she was going to
advantage.
give it to Drake and Taylor Swift, and she did. But that was like a
Zone A
long time
lost.
ago. Like just like a long old plan. Like all this weird stuff. And then she cracked a joke that I was the CEO of Disney. And she was just crazy. But she was like, and I didn't know. It's because I look Bob, I kind of look like Bob Iger, so it's all this talk.
Zone C lost. Your enemy has a power play. Zone A captured.
Really just didn't make any sense to me. But all that in a phone call.